IVM.
RMZ Corp presents The Future of Space.
Hi and welcome to the Future of Space podcast, where we look at all things workplace related in the context of Indian commercial real estate. I am Rubah Musvee, your host for this episode. In the past few months, we've all witnessed a new normal ushered in by COVID, where we've seen a mass migration of people working from home. And now it's time for us to go back to work, and we're going to see a lot of new safety protocols with all the relevant communication thrown into the mix. Along with this, there will be aggressive measures to de-densify existing spaces and a wealth of testing and sanitization. Aside from all this, as designers, this gives us this great opportunity to reimagine what the office space can be. In this episode of Future of Space, we'll introduce a concept that's very dear to me, which is social design. In social design, what we've been doing is we've been looking at a symbiosis of architecture, design, sustainability, all brought together with insights on human behavior. Our workplace today is not just defined by a design or a layout. It's really driven by the people who work in it. Professor Paul Drew of the University of York very accurately captures the essence of workplace design. According to him, workplace design is not merely about the fitting of a work system into the logistics of space. A practical knowledge of user behavior coupled with an understanding of its variations should be the guiding principle for design. This brings us to the topic of today's discussion, social design. Socially designed spaces at their best are spaces that are convenient, connected, engaged, and extremely invigorating. So just to go a little further into this, social design at a theoretical level is a discipline that involves the thoughtful molding and integration of spaces that put a community and its needs at the center of its existence. While this term has been frequently used in connection with residential neighborhoods, it has made major inroads into the workplace through co-working spaces, for example, in the last few years. As the workforce now returns to the workplace, it is only natural that they expect the comforts of home at the workplace. This will see further blurring of the lines between work and life outside of it. As a solution, many experts point to the rise of a certain kind of design wherein elements associated with the comfort of one's own house are brought into the context of the workplace. As is the scenario at one's home, the workplace too will have to balance spaces for collaboration and contemplation.
Knowledge Corner is presented by RMZ Corp.
A joint study conducted by the Syracuse University and Harvard University revealed that employees working out of greener offices exhibited 61% improvement in cognitive tasks as against those that don't. Increasing the ventilation within the green environment allowed for a 100% increase in cognitive performance by the employees being studied. Please join me as I speak with Nermin and Gözde from Studio Design. Nermin currently operates as the chief architect and Gözde is the chief designer at the studio. Both of them have worked on several illustrious projects, including the renovation of the Istanbul Marriott Hotel Asia. Welcome, Nermin and Gözde, to the Future of Space podcast.
Hello.
Hi, Rubah. Thanks for inviting us. Hi, everybody.
Okay, so I have some questions for you on social design and all the work that you guys have been doing around the world. Just to start off, do you think it's time we relook workplace design?
Sure, Rubah. Generally, we all work 8 hours a day in our offices. And this idea was okay for the X generation. But now, Y and also Z generation are in working life. So they ask some changes. That's why designers research about the new generation habits and needs. So we create some ideas about it. We look at workspace and we get the idea about breakout areas. These breakout areas, we can think about it, it's a breathing point in our offices. We put some kiosk counters there. People can eat and drink different kind of foods and some collaboration tables. They can make friends together. So research shows that this kind of places make the creativity more. And at this point, we change the design language of the space. We try to catch homely feeling vibe at these breakout areas.
That's really nice. So you are both interior designers. So when it comes down to actually working in the space, how can we make this happen in our offices?
Well, actually, the first point is the furnishing, I guess. Because, how you feel in your home, it's with all your furnishing and the colors, actually. And also, it is proved that some lying down thinking activates your creativity and also productivity. So we have added some sofas, we have added some rugs, we had some floor lighting and some comfortable chairs. Not only desk and chair anymore, actually. It's a new kind of furnishing and layout in the even office areas or the breakout areas, actually. In addition, we have added some collaboration tables. They're not just for sitting and working. They're maybe some dining tables in case they can be face-to-face meeting tables for informal, actually. But we have added this kind of furnishing to create that vibe.
So what you're saying is that the office is going to have elements of our home and elements of our social life in one. Do you think this is going to affect our work-life balance? We're going to spend way too much time in the office?
Well, yes and no. We think that, yes, it will affect our working life, but of course, we need to leave our offices. We have to leave our offices and back to our nice life, not working. But we have lots of syndrome, Monday syndrome, Tuesday syndrome. I can say it only Friday is when we are happy. So our aim is reduce the stress of the job in our buildings. This is our starting point. As you know, some companies, especially crowded ones, lots of people are working together, but they don't know one another. That's why we place some collaboration table, as Nermin mentioned. These tables, they are not just for sitting and working. Also, you can collaborate with someone and build a new relationship, because that kind of crowded companies, lots of departments are working together, and so you don't know people. In this way, you can build a relationship. Also, in our buildings, technology is the most important element. They should be updated and Wi-Fi should be available from everywhere. And after COVID, all the world realized that, in fact, we can work from everywhere. If technical subtraction are enough, we can work from our houses, we can work from a cafe or a bar or a hotel, we can work from anywhere. So this brings a flexibility to our working life. And now, with RMZ design team, we start to rethink about our lobbies. So we name them social lobbies.
That's really interesting. Can you tell me more about it?
Sure, actually, Rubah. As you are a part of this process. We just started thinking out of box, actually. In the past, usually the lobby means that a transition or a waiting point for just office buildings. But in this case, with your encouragement and our design way, we are trying to create alternative workspaces, a socialization point, a welcoming space also. And what it means is when you just first step into somewhere, it's your first impression, even you are a guest. Of course, if you're an employee, you see there every day. But what we just try to do is we just try to create some exciting experience for the members. The thing we just start this point was that 5 senses. We are just trying to catch that 5 senses. That first one is, as you already know, sight. A good decoration, a good lighting, many digital screens, also very good art pieces in the lobbies. They affect your sight. And one another thing is hearing. You can hear, a good music, like an elevator music, You can hear a good music in the lobby. Even it can be sometimes permanently a live music, like a piano or a performance point, something like that. Not only music, also boiling a tea, a coffee or something. It also affects your vibe when you step into somewhere else. As Gözde mentioned before, we added some kiosks and some counters into the lobbies. So we just try to attack that's your smell. So when you smell like a fresh bread or coffee, you wake you up or it makes you feel happy. One another thing also is taste. So by these counters, we added some nice and healthy foods and beverages into the lobbies. So it's not just like you are sitting there. Of course, you can just have some food and beverage there. And the last point is actually touch, and now it is touchless, I guess, after that COVID situation. But even you can have some different textured materials. And, if you sometimes feel better when you just touch some leaves of the teas, for example. But after COVID situation, we just transform it into something like really touchless, like, for example, some interactive art pieces, or the things working with the sensor, or just with your QR code. So it means that you are a personal integration to all the amenities.
So you have really taken the concept of social design out of the workplace and into an entire development by setting the vibe as soon as you enter the lobby. Are there projects that you have worked on or something that's on the drawing board that we can go visit?
We had finished one project in Hyderabad, and it is Skyview. In that social lobby, members and visitors can find some retail pop-ups, lots of kiosks, and they are serving different kinds of foods and beverage. Also, interesting art pieces, event area. This is what they can find it. And also, one upcoming project is One Paramount 30, and it is in Chennai. At this lobby, we try to add new amenities like reading coffee and library. You can borrow some books. Also, you can buy them. In the morning before you start your working life, you can sit while you are drinking your coffee. You can read a book. And if you like to continue, you can buy it. And we create a live music area, and we put one piano there. If our members can know how to play the piano, they can use it. And also a professional pianist will play during the daytime. And performance area we add. This one is maybe our members like it. Do-it-yourself green wall. Let me explain it a little bit. For example, Rubah, you have a pot in the wall, and there you can grow a flower or a fruit or a vegetable. For example, you choose tomato and you give it water and what else, and sun, that kind of things. And when it comes ready, you can collect them and bring it to your home and make it salad with it. So you can grow it, and also you can eat it.
So one of the things that I've actually really enjoyed with working with you, Nermin and Gözde, is you had so many different ideas about all the different amenities we can have in our spaces. And I think this would be a great place to share some of those. They're all really exciting. So I'd love to hear more.
Well, for example, we put some retail areas. They are not permanent. They are changing quite frequently. So our members can reach trendy brands and products easily and very often. Also, we create some game zones to socialize our members and reduce their stress again. Some intelligent walls, as Nermin mentioned, they will be touchless. They will work with QR code, and you can listen some podcasts or music or some books you can listen. Also, you can listen some natural sounds. It is
like a meditation, actually.
Yes. For example, if you never hear an ocean, you can sit and hear an ocean or a rain, or because you are in India and you have lots of weather conditions. But for example, I don't know, I'm not sure if you hear snow, because snow has a noise also. So this kind of a new experience we are trying to give. And we create some workshop areas because everyone always wants to learn new things. And we give them a chance to try them. And if they like, they can choose it as a hobby. And these workshop areas is special areas. So also you can use it as an informal meeting area. And interactive artwork, this is my favorite one. Rubah, the artwork is sensitive. It is with your sound and with the movement, the artwork responds you. For example, if you jump in front of the artwork, the colors or the patterns change immediately. So if you think about a lobby, lots of people are going to talk, laugh, and walk in front of it, and the artwork continuously change, and it will be always different, never same.
And also, hopefully, we hope to jump them
yes,
into the lobby.
Okay, so aside from these amenities and all the interactive, experiential things, what would you say are the most important design principles that we need to follow in our spaces?
Actually, Rubah, if you come to that point, the first thing I just can say is the lighting, I guess. Nowadays, everyone is recognized importance of the daylight and the natural light, even in the houses or in the office spaces. We just try to respect the daylight as an interior design object. We try to keep it into the spaces as much as we can. And that is proven that it also increases your psychological health and productivity. And also the right amount of the light can wake you up and also keeps you awake. And it is something I guess you need very much when you are working. And one another thing, really, we all know that poor lighting causes some headaches, eye strains, and tiredness.
And bad selfies also.
Yes, yes.
Very bad selfies.
It's the worst point probably nowadays for this generation. But yes, we are trying to get the natural daylight into the spaces as much as we can. And even the artificial lighting, of course, we use sometimes. We are trying to keep the right amount of the levels and the colors of them also as natural as we can. One another thing is that we are trying to do more biophilic designs in the areas because, for example, it helps you to reduce your stress when you step into your office area if it's well designed. And if you have, for example, some real trees inside, you can see some green walls. All these ones are supporting the air quality and also the air conditions. So you also need a good ventilation as a technically and mechanically, not only the greenery walls or the living things. One more point, especially I mentioned after COVID, but yes, it's also an important point is the outdoor areas. We are trying to integrate the outdoor areas into the working spaces and the lobbies as well. So not just like a break point, so just for breathing, just having some informal meetings, just having some cheating maybe, but we are trying to integrate outdoor areas as much as we can. As I mentioned, how I was explaining the social lobbies, we are trying to add some smell and sound points into the lobby areas, but we also know that we should control them very well. If it's a good acoustic, that's fine. And if it's bad, I think it can be a disaster for everyone because they are crowded spaces. So we are trying to, control the acoustic and the smell. We are using some acoustic panels and we are trying to some timber acoustic things and some curtains, for example, as we did in EcoWorld. As you know, we tried to separate the workshop areas with some good curtains. So it also limits your visibility from the outside and it also provides a good acoustic for the inside of the area. And again, we are trying innovative materials like odor panels or odor absorbing elements. We are trying to use that ones also. So the last point is also, we are very curious about that for all over the world, I think is the sustainability. We know that RMZ is also very, very curious about that object. So we are also sensitive about that. We are trying to use some sustainable materials in our design. We are trying to create some drop-off points, for example, for recycling materials to collect them. So we try to encourage all the members to collect and bring the recycled materials into that drop-off points. For example, in some of the kiosks we designed, we aim to use like reusable cups. You can just bring your own cup or again, you can use that reusable ones. This is one another thing we are trying to achieve, but plastic-free marketplaces. As some of them you use the bamboo ones, we know already. And we are trying to encourage also adding some points with the interior design to that subject to help your aim actually. I think this is a subject that we all need to think more, we believe.
This is such a nice holistic approach to design, I feel. So just to bring it back to the workplace, how do you think social design affects productivity?
Well, if we think all of them together, if you find a good designed place, you feel much more relaxed and your creativity will increase. If you are taking a clean air to your liver, you feel much more happy and you want to work more, and also you will work better. What else can I say? For example, as Nermin mentioned, if there is a sound control, because most of the offices are open offices, and one people try to work, the other is chatting, and it is sometimes can be annoying. So if we can control the area, if we put some acoustic panels or acoustic hubs, or if we can separate the people like our collaboration table, please talk there and work this area, like this kind of things we can do. I believe that our members will be much more happy and the creativity and the success will be more. Nermin, can you add more?
I can say, like, even it's not recognized, it is that much important, but we believe it is that art pieces, because, when you see something, it makes in your mind to light the bulb. So we are trying to add many art pieces, even like Gözde mentioned, some interactive ones, even some paintings, even some sculptures. And also we are trying to keep the hygiene standards also. From now on, it's nowadays, it's much more important. And what we are trying to do is actually to make spaces to feel the members comfortable during work hours.
Yeah,
and
welcome and comfortable.
Yes, I think so. And now, in addition, we are also trying to add some new makeups, we can say, into the redevelopment projects. The existing ones, we also try to do touch like this in this way. So we hope to our members to experience new comfortable things in the lobbies and the working spaces.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nermin and Gözde. It was so nice to hear your exciting and fresh and new ideas. I get to enjoy this every week, so I'm glad that more people than us can hear some of your ideas. And there's some exciting projects on the way, and we look forward to seeing them and being in them.
Thank you for this nice invite, and it is very nice to talk about it, what we did and what is in our thoughts. And we would like to hear if the members start to use our social lobbies. We would like to hear their ideas also, if we have a chance. And thank you again.
And thanks, Rubah, for inviting us. It was really our pleasure to be with you. And actually, I'm just waiting for the next episode. Thank you for inviting.
With the implementation of social design at the workplace, we can help improve the quality of interaction between members. We hope to nudge them towards healthier behavior through greater on-site mobility, food choices, and fitness options. There's a potential to expose members to retail offerings and pop-ups at the workplace. As we are currently entering the new normal, it is important to ensure that social design is guided by extensive safety measures, technology, and of course, smart design. Thank you for listening in. Don't forget to tune in to episode 3 of the Future of Space podcast, where this conversation continues.